the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
On the trail, tracking ghost town after ghost town and troll after troll, you find that everything that you've been searching for, the name Riley and all of these ghost towns popping up, these populations that have been mutilated, all leads to a small horse-drawn wagon in the middle of the road with the name Riley, discounts, and oddities on the side. As you approach, you find not a cultist inside, but an old, toothless halfling who offers you quickly a hearth to stay beside and a fresh cut of meat. As you look through his van, you see that the fires that have been listed all over the ghost towns that have been slowly cropping up throughout the region have been all created here by this old halfling. Suddenly, as you look to the side, you can see a chest appears to be slowly jiggling itself in the back, and as the old man turns away, you unlock and you find that inside is a troll with a large knife, seems to be cutting large slabs of this arm off of this troll. And now you realize that the reasons why all these trolls have been popping up is that this halfling has been selling regenerated meat to each one of them, and that meat has been growing inside of all of these people and bursting out of them, and that is what's been causing all of these troll infestations, and it all leads back to this old man selling this corrupted troll meat.
Sound familiar to you? It didn't sound familiar to me either. It's the story of Westbound, Revolvers and Rituals, a new game on Kickstarter. Today we have the lucky enough to have the creator of that mastermind of that game, John, on there. Is that correct? You're the creator and mastermind of that, John?
That is correct.
Okay, so you have a new role-playing game on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about it today, John?
Well, it's a game of revolvers and rituals, as you might imagine. It's got everything you need: cowboys, elves, outlaws, ogres, dragons, savages, trains, wizards, and everything else you would expect from a fantasy western. We've got our own D52 system, or a deck system that uses 52 cards. It's got a firearm combat, an exotic. We've got, of course, a magic from a Western game, but it's no longer magic science. It's nonetheless predictable stuff. It's incredibly wild magic. We have a character creation system. It's very vast, but it's not superfluous. You're not going to see a lot of repeats of powers. We have a crafting system. It's both dynamic and it promotes creativity for our players. We have a new type of system called an archetype system. It's a way to define your character, their personality, their morality. We have a free rule set. If you go on our website, westboundgame.com, not only can you find all the rules already there, but you can also find a quick start adventure. It can teach you everything you need to know in only 5 minutes. About 30 if you want to do the dungeon. A game master, though. And of course, uses a 52 card system, which is just awesome.
So, let's see here. So, let's see here. So, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So, you can learn it in like 5 minutes. I know I've been, we're trying to get back into role-playing games, me and my family, and they seem just so nerve-wracking. Like, it's, like there's so much to learn and whatnot. But this one only takes about 5 minutes to learn unless you're going to be the dungeon master.
This is going to be the game master. Yeah, it takes only 5 minutes to learn. We were very specific about making all the rules. Very easy to learn. That's being said. The rules are such that you could spend a whole through them, creating characters and trying to make combinations, and you won't find the bottom. There's so much in here, but it's so easy to grasp onto and start. We tried very hard to make that possible.
Wow, yeah, because I don't know if you ever heard that from new people getting into role-playing games, that it just seems so overwhelming.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we actually, when we were making the rules, made people who have never played RPGs and asked them, does this make sense? Do you understand this? Okay, now if we did this, what would you do? And immediately, every time they said this was easy, we could play right now. In fact, let's play right now. We got that response very often.
Cool beans. Let's see. So why did you guys go the Kickstarter route on this?
Well, we already had the all of the finished. All we really needed into a hardcover copy, and of course, we'd much rather have people who want to buy it or order it instead of having it something like it's instead of going to a publisher and trying to bid for it and have them try to change the game to make it more sellable. We just thought we'd take it right to the people we're selling it to and saying, hey, here's this awesome thing. Do you want it? And we're going to be like, that's fine. It's still a great game eventually. That's how fantastic it is. But there's already been a fantastic response. I think we just turned 70% finished in just under a week. So we're pretty excited about that.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. And so it talks about a lot of times in role-playing games I see with dice. So you don't use dice in this, just cards. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, just the 52 set of cards. Each card, of course, has a value and a suit, and both as often as we can. Classes can use certain suits much better. The gambler is all about the clubs, while someone like the spell slinger is able to use both spades and hearts simultaneously, able to do things like cast flash spells and be able to attack enemies before they can even realize that they're being attacked. There's of course each card has a value, and the value usually relates to the difficulty of something. So hard to hit, maybe they're very lucky and just no shots ever seem to land on them. You're going to need a very high value card if you intend to hit them. And of course you also use the values for checks, checks for finding out if you can actually do something or not. High cards, again, it's going to be what you want.
Cool. So how does something like that work? Do they is it randomized? Do they have the deck face down and so they don't see what's going on and they can pull a card out and show you, or do you get to pick what card to use, or how does that work?
Oh yeah. Depends on the situation. If you're playing just regularly, or say you're adventuring on a trail, generally it's always random off the top of the back of the deck, so you can't see what card you're pulling up. However, if you're in combat, per se, you actually get a full hand, so you know exactly what you're playing. That hand represents the moment you're in and all those opportunities that's been given to you. You have to use that for both attacking and in Westbound, of course, we have a dynamic defense, not a static one. So you have to actually focus on what you want. Do you want to get a big attack in, or do you want to have a good defense for when those attacks come at you? Of course, you can also use your hand for doing checks, and you can do it for doing like little activities like reloading your weapon. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's that big dynamic. I have these cards for defense, but I want to take this guy down quickly. And so it's a kind of situation where you always have a choice to make, and it's not just going to be I attack this guy, I roll a die. It's I have to make sure I don't die while fighting this person too.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Has there ever been a role-playing game like this that you're aware of with the cards instead of the dice?
Yeah, I know came out relatively recently. I think 2016. It's called Through the Breach as well. I'm pretty sure Deadlands used it. I hear the original, like the 1995 version, used only decks, but I couldn't even find a PDF of that while I was searching. The only reference I had of Deadlands using it was using it for the initiative only, which seemed uninteresting to us. Besides that, there are a few smaller games, but it's right home about.
Okay, cool. And so you could just pick up your own deck of cards and have the book and play the game. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's all. That's all it takes. All you need is the information and a $2 pack of cards.
There you go. And it looks like some of the stretch goals might be different decks, or how's that work?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we have a lot of cool decks we want because as I mentioned, every character is played differently. Uses aces as well. The wizard would use mostly hearts. So we want to emphasize all of these things. So when you're playing and you pick up a card that's like a pair of aces, that when you put them down, it feels super satisfying. So we made a bunch of decks. The decks have custom backs and custom fronts, so that when you play the game, it'll just feel like it's all part of the same game. It's not just random cards, but card specific. Yeah, well, at the moment, we're trying to, like you mentioned, there are stretch goals because cards are kind of expensive, especially on top of the book, and so in order to really make it worth being able to get them, we have to be past a certain threshold. Otherwise, it's just going to be too much money to buy people instead of being able to buy a lot of cards to be able to, which is why they're in the stretch goals. They're also the first stretch goals, and they're also only about $1,000 apart from each other. So if we get to the $20,000 level, all of the cards will be funded, and we'll be able to produce as many as we need.
Cool bean. So let's see here. Yeah, so that's awesome. And so is this just like on the book? Is that everything you need to play the game? That's all the rules, and it comes with scenarios and stuff, or what is the book exactly?
Yeah. Let me just see here if I can list if everything's in there. Yeah, so it includes how to play, character creation, all of your sorts, breeds, archetypes. Has a list of weapons, which of course includes organic or magical weapons, savage weapons like swords and bows and shields. It includes dust implements like your guns, your trivolvers, your witchbane fan cannons, and of course it includes a large number of other mundane items. It includes a list of 60 traits. Of course, there's sort of abilities and skills mixed together. Then we have about 10 prestige classes. We have 4 crafts. That would be tinkering, blacksmithing, alchemy, and runing or spell scribing. And then we have the expanded rules. Of course, we have the how to play section, but then we have the expanded rules that say how to do everything. Have a beast cherry, which is filled with not only normal people, but also classical monsters like the undead and trolls and dragons. But also it has the new Western monsters like the gecko bandito, the sallow, the pearl raptor, and the doppel swine.
Cool.
And of course, it's a small guide for for people wanting to be a game master.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds really cool, especially combining the whole Wild West with the magic and whatnot, and the dragons and whatnot. That sounds really intriguing.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say we were just combining it. We were just taking what was already there, the medieval world, and saying, what happens when they outgrow the medieval world? They're going to have to do something eventually. And so we just pushed all of that magic and technology forward a couple hundred years until eventually we were at the West. And everything just seemed to seemed to make sense as we were going.
There you go, cool. And so, how's that gonna work? Are all the adventures you can play in there, or you can write your own after a while, or how's that work?
We only have a short adventure, maybe 2-3 games. It takes place in the House of Remorse, sort of an ancient magic mansion, if you will, which has been lived in by several people. As you explore it, you'll find tomes and journals from the previous explorer, as well as you'll find some of what they've left behind, including monsters and traps. And your goal will be to. It depends on, of course, what you go there for. Some people go there to save children. Others will be going there to get some money and treasure. But after you finish the House of Remorse, I believe you have a good idea of what it's like to play in the West, and we definitely encourage game men to make up their own scenarios. Plans to make more in the future, but as for what comes with the book itself, we just have the House of Remorse.
Cool beans. So, let's see here. So, per se, somebody's been might have fallen asleep. I know it'd be because of my voice, not you, telling us about the game. But per se, had fallen asleep and just barely got startled and woken up and are catching the last of this podcast. Why should somebody take a chance on this particular role-playing game on Kickstarter, especially when there's so many out there?
I wouldn't even say they're taking a chance. Free options we have to play, considering our quick start and that the basic rules are all online for free. Really, there's no risk involved at all. However, I would say that you definitely want to play this game for its new 52 card system, which encourages your players to not be like I want to say demigods like you would be in other systems, where as you level up, you slowly become so strong with so much HP, jump off a building and not really survive it. So we really wanted to make a system that was interesting in that way, that you were playing mortal characters who could die at any moment, and that you have to actually actively protect yourself. Of course, we also have, like I mentioned, our craft system, which we're super excited about. You could create essentially anything you want. We often get people who are mixing all four of the crafts together. So they're making bullets with foam on them, also filled with alchemical poisons, and then fired out of a cannon that shoots about 10 per round. So it gets pretty deadly at a certain point. But yeah, if you want to play a game about being the cowboy elf, and just have a I want to say superior rule system, I would definitely suggest picking up our quick start, seeing if you like it, and then definitely try and support our Kickstarter.
Cool, and so you can go and it looks like you can go ahead and play that. There's like the free rules, rules and stuff, and you can just begin playing. There's a link to that on your Kickstarter, it looks like.
Oh yeah, we have a link to pretty much everything on our Kickstarter. Also, if you do anything on our Facebook, if you even briefly mention that you want to play, we will link you the quick start as fast as possible. We are fairly certain that we've created crack for nerds, so we're just trying to get as many people addicted. Which all it takes is a taste when it comes to Westbound.
Cool beans. And let's see here. So per se, somebody when they go ahead and back you, and it looks like this Kickstarter, it ends. Let's see here. I want to say the end of September. Is that somewhere around there? Is that correct?
Yeah, it ends on the 28th, which is about 3 days to the end of September.
Okay, so say somebody backs you and whatnot. I know you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but when do you anticipate they might be able to get their books?
Well, we've planned it that we're in October. We're going to be shipping in November, and then we have all of December to basically screw up and to have time to catch up if something goes wrong. So we're definitely planning on people getting it by Christmas to have it under those trees and have a Christmas adventure. So so it should be about 3 months.
Well, there you go. That's pretty good.
Just printing. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so a lot of times you have to wait until sometime in the middle of the next year or whatnot. So that's awesome. Cool. And now is this something? It doesn't look like they would have to have that option because I've seen a lot of role-playing games, especially on the Kickstarter, where they give you an option for the PDF or whatnot. But it doesn't look like you have to have that because there's already a free version, like you said.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to buy anything to play the game. However, we do offer a PDF. There's the early bird, which is and the $30 normal retail price one. It will come with It will come with things like art as well as even more character options. I mean, all the rules are already out there. So if you want to start making stuff up, you can definitely go there and you have all the rules. But if you want the full rules plus all of the art and even more, monsters and the House of Remorse, then you definitely the PDF on the Kickstarter.
Cool beans. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's see. And you said, is this your first role playing game you guys have created, or?
It's the first one we're selling professionally. We of course have made smaller ones, but those ones we were like, this is good, but it's not something we thought people wanted to buy. Then when we made Westbound, we were like, people are going to want to see this. We started putting it up online, and then we turned this into a hardcover book. And so now we're kickstarting the hardcover, and we're pretty excited about that.
Cool. So approximately how many pages would you say will be in the hardcover book?
There's going to be about 200 pages plus about 40 of art.
Oh, wow. So that's a decent-sized book from what it sounds like. And they can still, if they get the book, they can still learn it in about 5 minutes, and then the DMs or the Game Masters in about 30?
It'll be the same, but if you're wanting to learn all the expanded rules and things like that, generally they'll come up like one problem at a time. If you wanted to learn what the multi-attack feature was, for instance, if you were using, say, 2 guns at the same time, you'd be able to look it up really quickly and see how you dual wield essentially. Or if you were, say, trying to make stealth combat, or if you were trying to get people by surprise, there's a lot of little rules that very easy to pick up with the expanded. Actually, the current book has that, the basic rules already. So it's super easy to get into, and there's a lot of depth into it, so that you won't get bored even after months and years.
Well, that's good. So I imagine there was playtesting that went into this. So during playtesting, was there ever anything that you had to scrap because it just wouldn't work?
Oh yeah, the current exhaustion system several times, as well as the arc we had. The archetype system is a form of giving players like special abilities in social situations, essentially making their words resonate stronger and allow them to do more with less, but also giving them a focal point. It used to be a lot different, and that had to get scrapped because it just didn't make sense, all the bonuses we were giving them. Now it's something that's very simple and sleek and elegant. Players and game masters can really easily.
Cool beans. So would you say this is family friendly, or what age group would you recommend above for this game?
I would definitely say it's as family friendly as violence gets. You hear a lot of people playing Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons and all these games with their kids, despite them being very violent. But it's something that really it's at the discretion of the game master scenario. That's too heavy for kids. That's not something we can do. But most of the time when they're doing these scenarios, they specifically do it for the kids. So it's not something we're worried about. It's something that can be played by anyone.
Okay, awesome, cool. That's really good. So let's see here. Yeah, it looks like a really good game, as far as I can tell, and I really love the whole fantasy element with the Old West. So that's great. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. So now going on to our next part of the podcast. Well, I don't know if you've listened to any of it, but the next part is AAA. Don't worry, it's alcohol. It's not Alcoholics Anonymous, as this is a family-friendly podcast. It's actually Adventures in Application Acquisition, where we talk about an application. It doesn't have to be related to role-playing games or anything, but is there an application that you use, whether it be on a tablet, a phone, or a computer, or video game or something that you like, that you've been using at the moment?
I'm just going to start by saying Triple A is not Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the American Automotive Association.
Oh, yeah, there you go, yeah. Good call, yeah. So, yeah, it's not that either, so that makes sense. Yeah, nobody's ever caught me on that, but good call. But, yeah, so we're not talking about the AAA, where if you get stranded on the side of the road, they'll come help you out. But this is about adventures in application acquisition instead. But is there any applications that you use or whatnot that we could talk about for a minute?
I mean, if there's one I enjoy, it's that it's old now, Roll20, which is probably my favorite system just for making maps. Although I'm sure I'm as irritated as all of your fans that they got rid of the SoundCloud integration. That has been bugging me for years. It just makes the game so much less enjoyable that I can't share music with all my players easily.
Oh boy, yeah. So let's see here. So yeah, it's so that's the main thing, that your main pet peeve about the app.
Besides that, Roll20 is amazing for just connecting players together online, and then being able to easily build maps and then share them, and then actually use them as the tabletop. I think I've been using that since its conception, like 5 years now. It's just been an absolutely fantastic resource. I'll note that. Yeah, that was some of my first, like, actually getting into it. Actually getting into online was definitely through Roll20, just because they made it so easy.
Cool. So what is it exactly, Roll20?
It's a online tabletop. Essentially, you're able to create and share maps. It's as well as being able to control tokens on it itself. You're able to you were able to add music as well as character sheets and I can share. It was for playing tabletop games, mostly tabletop role-playing games, online.
Cool beans. I forget exactly what the app is. A little bit ago, I haven't aired the episode yet, but I was able to sit down with one of the players from the Glass Cannon podcast, and I forget what the name of the app is, but that's where they get all their music from. I'll have to see if I can figure out what it was.
Probably SoundCloud, I assume.
It might be. I want to say it's something else, but it's like, yeah, I think it's something else, but it's got all the different kind of music and whatnot. I don't remember what it's called though.
I think it's either Syrenscape or it's.
There we go.
SoundCloud.
Yeah, I believe it's Syrenscape.
Yeah, that's a solid program. I can't rationalize paying for something like that. I mean, it's a super cool program. I enjoy how you can actually, like, slowly integrate music or musical elements into it. Like adding into this combat and the music crescendo even more, and then adding in death sounds. That was pretty smart on their end. But it's something where I got the basic version, and then it was not something we could apply online generally, which is where I do most of my playing. So it wasn't something we could. It wasn't something I could use too easily.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. But before they had it on the app with all the other online stuff you were able to use, it sounds like.
The SoundCloud Roll20 integration was pretty fantastic.
Cool. So yeah, if anybody's listening that's in charge of that, you've heard it here first on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. That's how you could get it, make it better. Cool.
This is the real Gamergate here.
There you go. Cool. Well, minus coming there to where your hometown is, how would somebody find you guys online or whatnot, so they don't have to come stalk you in your hometown?
Oh, well, you can go on our Twitter or our website. same name, Westbound Game or westboundgame.com. You can also search Westbound Revolvers and Rituals at Kickstarter, which will also include links to our website, which includes links to our Facebook and our Twitter. We definitely encourage people to talk to us, ask us questions, send us comments. There's nothing we like more than talking about Westbound.
Cool, and we'll make sure that we leave all that stuff in the show notes, so people don't have to pull over to the side of the road. People don't have to go ahead and type that in while they're driving or whatnot, and so they can just click it and back it. But yeah, make sure you pull over to the side of the road. You don't want to go ahead and back this and then never get it because you're in an accident and have to call the real Triple A to come bail you out. Well, yeah, once again, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come on our show and join us, John.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, good luck on this Kickstarter, and we'll make sure we go ahead and get this up for you as soon as we can.
Appreciate it.
Hi guys, today is Kickstarter Corner. I was left with you guys, so let's get started talking. First, we're going to talk about, this is my favorite. We get to talk about Arcade Fighter. So we're going to talk about Arcade Fighter, my big guys. So let's go into, so I want to do this, but I can't because you guys are right in front of me, so I'm gonna go do this. So let's go to Kickstarter, and we're gonna do ancient artifacts first. So let's go. So this is a really cool game. 7 days to go, so when you're hearing this, it will be a little while later. So yeah, back that project. Anyway, it will be ending on September, so it will be ending in a few weeks, in like 1 week, on September the 30th of Saturday, at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So yeah, that's really great. Oh yeah. So anyway, we're gonna talk. So we're gonna talk about this really fun. So next we're gonna talk about, what are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about swords and cells. So let's search that up. So let's go up. Swords and cells. Okay, swords and cells.
What's going on, Princess Leaf?
Just talking about a few games.
What did we talk about so far?
Ancient artifacts.
Is that the one you talked about?
Yeah.
So do we need to talk about some more?
Doing swords and cells.
Okay, tell them about ones you know about, and I can find the ones you don't know about as much.
So I know about ancient artifacts. Oh, and ancient artifacts is related to Indiana Jones and Fairy Tales.
Move that around.
Let's see. Dawn of the Archmage, fun game. So they just started relaunching again.
Well, they relaunched again, and they're going through the. Okay, go ahead. They relaunched again, and they're going till the 11th of October. Tell us about it.
It's a really fun game, and you get to paint your miniatures, or you get them painted by the person. Really cool.
And what was it? It's kind of like Summoner Wars, so that was kind of cool. I really like that company, Solar Flare Games. Dave seems to do a stellar job. It's some of the exciting news that he has coming up. It's pretty exciting. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. So here's the one about swords and cells. She was trying to find it for you.
It ends 2 days after the Dawn of the Archmage.
Which is when?
October 13th.
Okay, what can you tell us about this game?
10 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So this is Swords and Cell. It's an epic quest and demonically
Okay, it's an epic conquest and diplomacy
game about leading your armies and flees through the
medieval Europe
in 108.
or 1000 AD, however you want to say that. So yeah, that's cool, and you can win coinage for your gameage over at the
Giveawaygeek.com.
We got it, the giveawaygeek.com. We got it. It took us a while. Hey, Princess Leaf, on the last episode, I even was slaughtering it. You believe that?
So there's free shipping to the US and the UK.
Well, there you go. That's something to look up. That's something exciting.
And also, if you live in England, write in the comments in our YouTube channel if you have cute boys where you live.
Oh boy, she's looking for an England boy, I guess. But she's only 10, so don't have your kids writing in the comments. Now tell us about a different game, please.
It could be you guys.
Here, tell us about a different game, please, Princess Leaf. Here.
Cheese Quest.
What can you tell us about that? Let's see here. Okay, well, tell us about one you know about. Tell us about one you know about.
Scrooge. You're trying to out Scrooge.
Okay, cool. And what do you like about that one? Okay, so Scrooge, you're trying to out Scrooge, and you can actually get this game if you back it now. They end on the 5th of October. You can get it for Christmas. So that's kind of cool. Now tell us about these, and if you don't have something to say, let me know so I can be talking. Go ahead, Princess Leaf.
Crafty, strategic, and fast.
So be crafty, strategic, and fast.
They'll split your time between progress and sabotage as you race to return 2 cheeses to the nest.
What game is that?
Cheese Quest.
And let's see, it looks like...
boring. Sounds like 4-year-olds.
Actually, it's pretty fun. It's for... I talked to the creator, and it's so kids can play together, kids can play with their parents, and parents can play together. It sounds really fun, and there's actually some different videos on there that you can learn how to play. So what else you got? Any of these other ones you know about? What about this one? What's Arcade Fighter about?
About arcade fighting.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're bringing games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter to the tabletop.
Like Street Fighter.
Yeah, bring that to the tabletop. And that goes through the 5th of October as well. So back that on Kickstarter. Plus, we've got Jonathan Thompson is doing a great thing. He's doing the Cold Cash War, which is an RPG setting for the Cepheus and the Savage World systems, where you are taking on the corporate world of the corporate wars in America, based on a novel by Robert Asprin. And let's see, what else do we have here? You did Cheese Quest. Why did the chicken cross the road? We really don't know. But their new game on Kickstarter is Rooster Rush, and it's by Mayday Games, and it's actually created by Antoine Baza and Corentin Lebrat. I hope I didn't slaughter those names, but they're actually the creators of some great games you may have heard of. I know I've heard of some of these. I haven't played any of them, but I've heard of them. Well, I have played some of them. They got Hanabi, Seven Wonders, Terra Maple City, Ghost Stories. We have Ghost Stories. We have Takedo. We have Seven Wonders Duel, but I think they recorded Seven Wonders, Takedo, Taken, Oko, Shibis. They got Seven Wonders, like I said. Terra Maple City, which I think was actually changed. It used to be Rampage. I really wanted to get that, so maybe I'll have to look into that. But yeah, the creators of those have teamed with Mayday Games to bring you Rooster Rush, which was unsuccessful first time on Kickstarter, but they've since relaunched to bring you this great game, and they recently, within the last couple hours since I looked at this last, have funded. So this time they're over 104% funded, and now you can go ahead and bring this great game home to yourself for $10 for the base game or $15 for the Kickstarter exclusive. Why not go $5 more? And shipping will be charged after. They have some great shipping prices, so don't be afraid of that. Let's see, if you look down on the Kickstarter page, you'll be able to see that. But they have some great shipping prices as well. Let's see here. They're actually going for Kickstarter. Let's see, shipping prices on this game are great. USA around these are averages, $3 to $5. Canada $4 to $6. Europe E4 to E7. I don't know if that's pounds. Australia and New Zealand, $4 to $6 of their, I think that's of your kind of, that's your dollars, or maybe it's ours. I don't know. Asia, $3 to $5, and our rest of the world, $4 to $7. So I don't know if those are USD, but that's okay. You can find out. Just send a message over to Seth at maydaygames.com. He said he'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Or you can contact him via Kickstarter. You might as well contact him via Kickstarter. Well, so they funded. They're going to get the stretch goals. They reached the first one, which was at $3,000 of funded. And thank you for your support. Next one's at $7,500, and then $12,500. Let's go ahead and get these great, what are they called? Well, it leaves me now. Stretch goals. Let's get these stretch goals for Rooster Rush. I really want to get this, and my wife said I can. Yahoo! Gamer Leaf Boo! Whatever you want to call it. So, anyways, so that's a great one that's going on. Trench. Now, this is cool. This is a really cool one. This is Mike Strickland is working with the creators of this to bring you a great game. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, they're going to relaunch this. It's Outer Limit Games. It is Trench. Play with art. Trench is an original abstract strategy tabletop game for 2 players based on the Trench Wars in World War I. And it's by Rua Alpo Monterio. I probably slaughtered that. Hopefully we'll get him on the podcast, the Mike Strickland of Outer Limit Games, to talk about it. And then let's see here. Princess Leaf is back with us. Do we miss anything? I think the only one we got to talk about is this one. Am I right? She doesn't know. But let's see here. Last but not least on this week's Kickstarter Corner is War Titans, Invaders Must Die. Now, what do we do in this game, Princess Leaf?
We choose a pilot and take control of
Colossal robots
in
this cooperative
board game rich in amazing miniature and
multiple scenarios. They got about 18 days to go. They're it looks like they're going towards their goal. They're at 41,543 out of 65,725. So yeah, go ahead and back them on the Kickstarters, and you can get a great game, okay? And this has been
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf. We also need to thank our Patreons.
Well, I guess she wants to thank our Patreons. It's been a little while, so let's go ahead and do that really quick. Let's see. Do you remember any of them? If you remember any of them, go ahead and spout them off.
Jennifer Longworth, Axel Gunner,
Axel Mersado, maybe. Axel Mersado. Yeah, Mersado. We don't remember his name. Oinks, Ethan
Ireland, and Ronald Gagan.
And Dane over at
everythingboardgames.com.
So yeah, thank you very much for being on our Patreon.
You'll be able to hear me in the next 2 episodes, maybe.
Or the next,
if I know how long Gender Women's Conference will be.
Okay, so there you go. So good. So go ahead and sign us off.
Signing off.
This has been Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf.
4, 3, 2, 1. Signed off.
Uh-oh, Princess Leaf. We forgot one. What one did we forget? We forgot this one right here. What is it?
Frontier the card game.
Frontier the card game. That's a new one to us. So let's see here. I'll go ahead and let's see here. Okay, Frontier the card game. Let's see here. So here it is. Yeah, they're new, and they're out of St. Louis, Missouri. So that's exciting. I always like to say Missouri. Some people get mad at me because it's supposed to be in Missouri. Some people say it Missouri, but I always say it Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, because we lived in Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, when we were in the Air Force. But I always called it Missouri. Yep, I always called it Missouri. But Frontier the card game is a
tabletop card game that explores the Old West and sees each player try to become the best outlaw of collecting
by collecting notoriety and bounty. So there you go. And they have 54 days to go. So this is going to be a long one. But yeah, go ahead and back them on the Kickstarters and you can get a great game. I don't know if
it's a Western game.
Yeah, Western game. And so those have been hot lately. So yeah, go ahead and check them out on the Kickstarters. They'll be going till a while, I guess. They'll be going until about the 16th of November. Go ahead and check them out on the Kickstarter. Thank you. Have a great day. Signing off again. We'll catch you on the...
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.